Good morning, welcome. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. Please say hello to your neighbor. Good morning. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. We come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. Welcome.
How's that for a dynamic duo? Martha and Barrett. Thank you so much. Wow. Welcome, welcome. I'm Shireen Hill. Even though I always forget to put my name tag on, I am still Shireen Hill. Sorry about that. I'm so glad to see you all here and know that I'm feeling energy from those that are in the virtual sanctuary. And if you are new here, we have Jill at the welcome desk, and she has some welcome packets for you with information about who we are, and we'd like to get to know you better. And also you have an offer for a free gift from the book bookstore where Lauren will be after the service. So welcome, welcome, and I'm so glad to see everybody here. And one thing I love is opening this space with our creed. And this is an opportunity for us to come together and say our creed together. So it will be up on a slide in just a moment. Okay, if you'll say this creed with me. Our God is love. Our race is human. Our faith is oneness. And with that, I want to share a reading with you that Trish has asked me to read for you. It comes from a book, How to Pray Without Talking to God. And it's interesting, she had mentioned that this would be the reading and that this is the start of a series that she's beginning. And I thought, oh, I've read that book. And then this morning I picked it up and I wrote the year when I started to read it the first time. It was 2019. And I started to skim through and look at my notes, and I realized that even though I've read it before, I'm reading it again through a different me. I'm different now. So even if you've read this book, I feel like, you know, reading again along with this message series will just bring some new things up for you in your life. So I am reading from pages 21 and 22. So turning a page with a microphone, it's going to be interesting. Let's see how I do. We have misunderstood the great truth about divine identity. We've called it potential, as if we have to work toward the goal of divinity. We have believed it to be conditional, as if each of us could gain or lose individual divine entity depending upon individual actions. We have thought we have had to journey to find our divine identity, as if gotten lost or separated from us. We do not have to claim our divine identity in order to have divine identity. But what good is a divine identity if a person does not claim it? What good is a talent for music if a person never plays an instrument? The talent is intact, but it must be claimed if it would be expressed and enjoyed, just as we enjoy your music. Deciding not to play music does not make someone evil, nor is the person punished for that choice. The music remains in that person, latent, until she chooses to express it. When will you claim your divine identity? When you have the choice of how to respond to someone's hurtful remark, will you throw back angry words, or will you express divine love, life, and wisdom? When feeling tempted to judge your appearance harshly in the mirror, will you instead gaze through to the divine life, love, and wisdom reflected there? You claim your divine identity moment by moment, choice by choice. What you know yourself to be in any moment determines your approach to prayer.
Beautiful. Well, I thought if I bored you with prayer, I would at least entertain you with my I Dream of Jeannie pants. I like to pull them out from time to time. I Dream of Jeannie's gotten a little more full-figured and a little older, but she still has a lot of fun. So welcome. If I haven't met you, my name is Trish Morris. I'm serving here as the spiritual leader. And please, if I haven't met you, introduce yourself after the service. I'd love to get to know you and put a face with a name. And thanks to those of you who are joining us online. We're glad that you're spending your time with us this morning. And yes, as Shireen said, I want to preface our morning by saying I looked for Marietta because I know her opinion about this book. I'll say it again. It is not to say if you're talking to God, you're doing it wrong. How dare you? It can sound that way, and it can also sound like, how in the world can you pray without talking to God, right? And that's what we're going to talk about a little bit today, so to speak. So I just want to sincerely acknowledge that there's no right way to pray. the way to pray that is meaningful for you, that aligns you with your understanding of your divine nature, is the best way to pray. And as we will discover, many of us have been conditioned to have all sorts of garbagalook going on in there, right? And until we sort of identify, oh, there's Santa Claus God again, watching me from afar, it can limit the experience of prayer. And certainly, Unity's foundation is one of healing affirmative prayer. And so it behooves us to not just say that and maybe do that, demonstrate that for you in our prayer time, but teach you about that, teach you what that means, and teach you how to hone that skill for yourself. So that's my precursor. Don't take it personal. Don't hear me to say the way you're talking to God is silly and don't do it and you're not spiritual enough, okay? Take this. I loved Shireen's mentioning, which I hadn't prompted her to do. I've been invited myself to take on the idea of a beginner's mind. That's a great Buddhist tenet, because for the expert mind, there's very few possibilities, because we know it. This is how it is, right? For the beginner's mind, it's like, oh, wait a minute. What is this about? How can I know more about this? We have an opening to it. And so myself, I have grown tremendously in my understanding and application of affirmative prayer. And I hope to invite you in that journey and keep you attuned, at least to my I Dream of Jeannie pants at times. Okay, just being silly. So to that end, we will take a moment now to begin our time together with prayer. So I just invite you to take a deep breath, relax your physical body, invite your mind to follow your breath as you take a deeper breath, just allowing yourself to arrive in this time and space. And we ring this singing bowl that is tuned to our heart chakra. So just let this sound begin to resonate with you, opening your heart.
Surely the presence of love is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of love is in this place.
I just invite you to relax in the presence of love that is in this place. Reminded, of course, that there is love in any place where we are, because we are expressions of divine love right here, right now. And so take a deep breath into that truth, and no matter what may be going on around us, even seemingly within us, there is that essence of us that remains true, that is expressing divine life, love, and wisdom. And so we turn towards that expression purposefully now in this time of prayer, focusing our mind on that profound idea that that is the truth at the center of your being and my being. Say for yourself in your mind, now I am an expression of divine life right here, right now. And as we center into that, you may want to choose to add divine love, divine wisdom, whatever you're in need of, perhaps this morning. As we center into that truth, whatever we are facing individually and collectively becomes more manageable because we are strengthened, we are poised in this truth. And so you can bring to mind anyone or even anything on your own mind or heart now this morning, and to surround it in that idea of divine life and love and wisdom. As we do that, those attributes work through our own mind, through our own feeling nature, as we address those issues or as we hold those other people in the consciousness of their truth, that they too, whether they are feeling it or knowing it or not, they are divine expressions of life, love, and wisdom. And so may we go forward this morning knowing that, claiming that more fully for ourselves, holding those on our minds and hearts in that truth above all the details of any particular problem. May that be the light that illumines us and them. And for our ability to know this and to claim it at any time, I give great thanks. And so it is. Amen.
I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is more than enough. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is sacred love. I will leave this day as it ends, go inside to find my God. I will leave this day as it ends, go inside to find my God. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is more than enough. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is sacred love. I will leave this life as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this life as it ends, go inside to find my God. Go inside to find my God. I'll go inside to find my God.
Thank you, Barrett. Good to have you back. It's been a while. Did you notice we got the carpets cleaned? Uh-oh. We did. So I wanted to make mention of that. I've gently asked that if you bring coffee in, you do it with a lid. We'll see how long that lasts. But we're happy to announce that we did that. And yeah, I certainly notice it. So how I got to that from prayer is always the question. How many of you, by show of hands, have a mixed feeling about prayer? Oh, come on, you can say it, okay? How about by a show of hands, how many of you feel it's hit or miss if it's effective for you? Okay. How many of you feel a little inept, perhaps, in your prayer practice? There we go. Okay. I think we've covered more ground now. How many of you are happy and you know it? All right. I'm just making sure you're listening. Okay. Good. I might be a little punchy this morning. Yeah, and I've talked to you over the years about my own experience with prayer and my growth with that and how it sort of held some remnants of, and I didn't even grow up in a real traditional mainline denomination. I did hit or miss, right, with some of my friends, but I still had this understanding of some propensity for judgment and guilt and shame in some way from prayer. Anybody have any remnants of that from, yeah, okay, well, you guys are doing well. Great. And as I've said many times, when I came here and I was in search of someone to do that memorial service for my dad, and I met Annalie Rawson, who was here and was wonderful and went through the whole rigmarole with me, and then at the end said, wait, I want to say a prayer with you, remember? And I said, oh, here we go. I thought this was going to be great, but there's going to be some level of some guilt here. I just know it. No, there wasn't. And her prayer just brought me to tears and opened my heart, and hence I've been here ever since. And in part, what she was offering me was an affirmative prayer. So that's why it's important, I think, that we know what that is and learn how to grow into it ourselves, because it has the potential to really expand not necessarily the effect of our prayer per se, although I would say most likely, but most definitely our connection and our understanding with our own divine nature. And that, I think, is where unity shines. I think that's what, whether you know it or not, brought you here, and why you said, I didn't know there was a place like this, right? That you actually, I feel empowered. I feel okay. I feel actually like the essence of me is, in fact, whole and well and complete. Do I always act like that? Do I make mistakes? Of course. But we do not necessarily hold you to be welcome sinners, right? There's a different tone to it. We'll get to that issue of sin, which we really use it as from the sort of original term as an archery term, which means to miss the mark, right? So we have this capacity, we could say, to hit the bullseye a lot when we are in touch with and working from our divine identity. And sometimes our personality and our ego and our circumstances, all of that, we just say, you know what, this is the best I got. We missed the mark. Does that make sense? All right, I'm going to have to step this game up. I can see you people are on fire. The other thing that I think prayer gets a bad rap, right, is that for so long we can hear that we're sending our thoughts and prayers, right? And at some point, when there's mass shootings and the climate is on fire, the climate crisis, there has to be some action too. Prayer is wonderful, for sure, and hopefully it also inspires us to move our feet in some direction. So, and for me, I think that's a key element, again, from our teaching, that God can do no more for us than God can do through us, as us. Right? So God is not going to come in and put the fires out and take the guns away or do the mental health work. We have to take some action. And prayer ideally is identifying as we identify with our divine purpose and our divine truth and our divine essence, we are divinely inspired to do just that. And, you know, as humanity, we are uniquely what would you say? That was really open-ended. We are unique in contrast to the rest of creation, which is also imbued with divine intelligence and divine life, because we have the capacity to be aware of it. We have the capacity to actually use this divine intelligence, this divine creativity, this expression of divine love through this vessel of our body to co-create. That's what it kind of means to co-create with God. We are using that energy that is of God. But we are a required element of it. It needs our mind, our body, our consciousness to express. You know, the birds and the streams and the mountains, they're imbued with it as well, but they're just being birds and mountains and streams. They don't get all wound up in where they work and what they drive and who's mad at them. We get a little confused by that. Is it hot in here? Oh my gosh, I can't take this much longer. Thank you, I appreciate that, ladies. So the important idea that Linda Martella Whitsett is leading us into discovering is, and owning, is that your essence is divine, your true nature is of God. The same exact energy and creative force and intelligence that God itself is. And it gets hard to talk about, I know. And so humanity has classically sort of personified God as a way to understand. And certainly Scripture has done that for us as well. Remember, though, that Scripture is coming through the minds and hands of humanity. And so they're grappling with, who are we? What is this? What's the purpose of what we're doing? What happens when we're not here anymore? And that's their understanding of it. And so we get this sort of divine parent in the sky, yes? That if you're really, as you grow up, at some point, you outgrow a little bit, right? I did my little video to the tune of, he sees you when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake, he knows when you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. There's an element of that even in the childhood, or the God of our childhood. It's difficult to claim and know your divine essence when that sort of thing is going on. There's some inherent unworthiness or smallness here. God, usually a male parent, is here, and we are doing God knows what down here. Sometimes on the mark, sometimes not. And so I love what she says, and this is very helpful, that God is not a person but a power at work in all of creation. Now, did anyone's mind go right to a powerful person? An all-powerful person, an all-powerful being? It can, but again, it's beingness itself. I can't, and as soon as you start putting words around it, it gets challenging, for sure. I want to read to you a quote from Charles Fillmore, and this will, I hope, bring to mind how important it is that we evolve our understanding of God. He says that it is your mission to express all you can imagine God to be. Now, right there, is this a bodyguard, a superhero, right? I mean, this is our first invitation, and I'm not saying that's what you're thinking, but it creeps in. It just creeps in because of our culture, our cultural Christian teaching about God, the Father, and this level of worthiness and this inherent sin. It's in our DNA, sort of, if you will. And so we have to be conscious about it. So it is your mission to express all that you can imagine God to be. Let this be your standard of achievement. Never lower it, nor allow yourself to be belittled by the cry of sacrilege. You can attain to everything you can imagine. If you can imagine that it is possible to God, it is also possible to you. Now, I don't know about you, but I did not learn that in Sunday school. Okay, I didn't go to Sunday school, but that's different. So let's take a peek. I've given you some hints already, right? That we think of God as, what does she say? She's got some good ones. Superhuman, right? Linda Martella-Whitsett says that if we don't mature spiritually by evolving our God, we end up feeling powerless and dependent upon a divine parent we have to plead with and please. And so that's kind of what we're outgrowing, right? Or there's also God as sort of the invisible parent, watching, judging, holding all the cards. And the cause of all human experience, in particular suffering, right? Now this is, you say this is your mission to express all of that. Well, that's not, you don't want to express any more of that. You got to get clear about what it is you're here to express more of. And then there's the bodyguard. We pray to the bodyguard for safety, especially as kids when we're in trouble. God, if you don't let my mom find out about this, I swear I will go to Sunday school or whatever it is, right? And that can kind of continue on as sort of this benevolent protector, but it kind of becomes hit or miss, right? And then the incredibly shrinking God, that's a fun one. Linda Martella-Whitsett spent time in an ashram, and at one point they would talk about the guru within, and even the Christ within could, our minds do funny things, like it's not a little person in there, not that you think that, but it's not anything different or separate from you that's in you, right? Because then you're still separate somehow, and this beingness within you knows all, but you don't. So we have to sort of bridge that separation. Eric Butterworth would often say, God is not in you like a raisin is in a bun. Right. But more so, like, there's 2 points I want to make, don't let me forget. Like the ocean is in every wave. The totality of the ocean is in every wave, right? And so the second point of that is that it feels a little much to say, you're telling me I'm God, right? You are, I don't want to do this. Just as I said, just as the ocean water is in every wave, you are a wave in that ocean. The ocean is vast. God is even beyond the ocean. That's where it gets even more tricky. God is present in and through all things and beyond and below all things. It's hard to fathom. It's the creative life energy that is bringing all of this to be. And so as individual expressions of that, particularly with these human minds, what we can even know and conceive and express is a little bit limited. So no, you're not the fullness of God, but the essence of you is the is. Tricky, right? Does this make sense? Okay, wonderful. So again, Linda Martelowitz, it says this: part of evolving our God is realizing that divine life, love, and wisdom, oh, take a deep breath, are not personal. God isn't coming down to our size, fitting within the confines of your mind and your body. Still divine life, love, and wisdom. Let me rephrase this. She was talking about back to Incredible Shrinking God and how she sort of came to discover her divine identity through working through letting go of these other relics of God, as I've been discussing. So part of her realization of her own divine nature was, she's describing that part of evolving our God is realizing that divine life, love, and wisdom are not personal. God wasn't coming down to my size, fitting within the confines of my body and mind. Still, divine life, love, and wisdom seem to be something other than me, living in me, or flowing from me. So she's still having a bit of a disconnect. Because I think we can miss the point that we are the vessels and the ways in which it expresses. We just see it too big for our own individual as we express it, as we co-create with it, as the reading said, moment by moment, thought by thought. So the element that we're getting to is this idea of divine omnipresence, right? That God, the essence of God, which, by the way, and I've said many times, many people have resorted to a different identity, a different name, a different invocation, right? Divine life, divine love, divine intelligence. Because God, as we've just said, has all this baggage of this person, this being. So identify with the quality and the nature of this beingness is often helpful to further align our own understanding and our own mind. Again, to understand that God is not a person, but a power. God is everywhere-ness, not a being who is everywhere. And again, this is just sort of how our mind works to try to conceive. It's not wrong, but we're wanting to identify that within us. And so we have to do a little cleaning up of how outside of it has gotten. And to some degree, to just say quite clearly, if we know that this is the essence of us, that we have at our core this divine life and love and wisdom, who are we talking to? Right? We want to be connecting with it. And also, there's this temptation to get all the details in. God, it's like, oh, I know, I'm in this with you. I'm real aware of all this. Now see right there, I said I'm, as if God is a person, didn't I? You see? But what happens when we are sort of rehashing the details, and I know that some of the details are very alluring. Sometimes they're very painful. Sometimes they're very confusing. I get it, for sure. But then we're just sort of maneuvering in the minutia of the energy of the problem. And where we have more possibility is to identify with divine life and divine intelligence. How do we ever even know it? It occurs in our own mind, in our own awareness, yes? So we draw on that. We're still going to have to deal with whatever it is, but we have a whole different point of reference and a whole different set of skills, for lack of a better word. Right? We're empowered beyond our thinking mind. I'd like to share with you, we used to use this here a lot, an invocation by Charles Fillmore. I do have a slide for this one, Elle. Charles Fillmore was known to sort of use this sort of as an affirmation or an invocation in his prayer time and when he would give a talk. And it says that I am now in the presence of pure being and immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. And I want to just offer, you're in the presence of pure being not because you're in this place. I shouldn't say that. Because I want you in this place, of course. It doesn't matter where you are. You're in the presence of that because you are that. So just close your eyes for a minute and let that idea, let these words speak to you as I've been trying to indicate your divine nature, and hear them for yourself. I am now in the presence of pure being and immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. And just take a deep breath and notice, right? If you were facing something that was challenging you, that was confusing you, that was even painful to you, and you began with that, you centered your awareness in this truth of who you are. You are an expression of pure being. And all of life, you are imbued, you are experiencing this Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. Again, you're going to have to revisit whatever you might be grappling with, but do you feel some empowerment there? Do you feel some possibility that might not be there if you're really fixated in the details of the issue? I'm going to have to wake some of you back up. Come on back. Here we go. Yeah. And we'll go one step further. Reverend Paul Hasselbeck, who is the Dean of Education at Unity Spiritual Institute, has made it his mission to, and I think Charles Fillmore, who's the co-founder of Unity, would wholeheartedly approve. He's moved forward some of the language that was used by the founders, because in and of itself it can still indicate a little bit of separation. And so he came up with, you can show that next slide for us, Al. I am the presence of pure beingness, expressing the whole spirit of life, love, and wisdom. I am that. Now, I know you don't always act like that. You don't go through life saying, I am the presence of pure being. Spirit of life, love, and wisdom, step aside. Maybe you do. I wouldn't recommend it. It doesn't mean, and so this is what we're here to, this is our mission, to express this. Now, if these words don't work for you, that's okay, but I hope you can feel the power in that. Again, closing your eyes and hearing this is the truth of you. I am the presence of pure beingness, expressing the whole spirit of life, love, and wisdom. That is the essence of you, the spiritual truth of you, your divine nature. And so as we teach affirmative prayer, it is to know that and to claim that. It doesn't mean you can't ever talk to God. Go ahead. I'm just inviting you into, if you want to explore the power of affirmative prayer, you can take that slide down. Thank you, Al. Find ways to connect with your divine nature. You might have to start by acknowledging it in the fullness of God as divine life, as divine intelligence, and then locating that within you. Then as we spend time in prayer, we're connecting with that and letting that express through our consciousness, illuminating all that we're having to deal with when we're done with our prayer time. So, we're going to continue through. I didn't get to the sin gene. Let me just, I'll give you a quick synopsis. That basically, If you grew up in Christianity, you likely learned that, well, you might not have learned, but you should figure out that Christianity contributes to, and maybe the origin of, the idea that humanity is fundamentally ungodly. Christianity is the only tradition that condemns a person before they've done anything wrong. Judaism rejects the notion of original sin. Islam points to Adam and Eve as the example of what not to do and acknowledges that humanity is tempted by evil, but that they are less likely to act on that if they abide by the tenets of the Quran. Eastern religions do not subscribe to a doctrine of sin. In Hinduism, ignorance gives rise to poor conduct, the remedy of which is guidance rather than damnation. And the importance of this is just to realize that this is kind of the source of some of that shame and unworthiness that has seeped in. And it's not true. And we get to do the work of cleaning that up. It's just like I've been talking, can you believe the church did this too? I've been talking about having to heal some of the conditioning of our parents. We have some in some organized religion as well. It doesn't mean that humanity is perfect by any means. We do make mistakes. I think really the truth of sin is that we get confused, as I've already said, and act from our limited understanding, from our ego, from our fear and our defense, not from the truth of who we are. As an expression of divine life, love, and wisdom, what are we afraid of? And so that's what we're working with, in my mind, when we talk about sin. All right, thank you for listening, folks. We will be continuing this, dare I tell you, for the next few weeks. I hope it will be helpful. There are books in the bookstore if you'd like to follow along more closely. Trying to find my best ending here. I think this is what it is, and it will come from, and then we'll have a time of meditation, again from the book, from Linda Martella Whitsitt. She says this, that we have the hearts of divine love, the minds of divine wisdom, and the lives of divine life. The love principle, the wisdom principle, the life principle are at work in us. As we identify ourselves with these principles, we claim our divine identity. In any moment, you can realize and live from that divine identity more fully. And so we'll take a time in meditation now to contemplate that more personally.
When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray.
Take a deep breath into this time and space. I invite you to close your eyes. Contemplating this notion of I am as your divine name. And claiming your divine nature by what you put after that. I am divine life. I am divine love. I am divine understanding and wisdom and judgment. That is the truth of your divine nature, your divine identity. And so again, just breathing into this space and this place and claiming for yourself that you are the presence of pure beingness. Right here, there's nowhere to go, nothing to do, nothing to undo. You are that right now. Presence of pure beingness. And as such, you are expressing the whole spirit of life, love, and wisdom. So let the power of who and what you are enfold you right now, empower you, guide and support you. There's nothing you need that is outside of you. Really, our mission is to identify it within us. And then to express it. So as you move forward this day, do so with a conscious awareness of the truth of who you are. Let your presence of pure beingness radiate into your life. And look for it in others. Pure beingness often gets covered up with the words and the personality, but you can see through that. For if it's true for us, it's true for all of humanity, all of creation is the presence of pure beingness. And so we claim that, and we express that, and we let that be. And so it is.
When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper. My heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper. My heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray.
So I just invite you to take a deep breath and open your eyes, come back to this time and space. We'll be continuing on specifically with more details about affirmative prayer next week. I don't know if I even mentioned, did I? That the quickest way to understand affirmative prayer is that it is praying from the consciousness of God or from your divine identity rather than to it. It's the quickest. It's a little teaser for next week. I do have a few things I want to bring to your attention today. After the service, our care team will be meeting in the adult education room. I know many of you are surprised to know we have an adult education room. So it's across from the office. I shouldn't say many, but usually some people are like, where? Across from the office on the main floor. If you're interested in knowing more about our care team or are currently serving on our care team, I hope you will join us as we gather as a group at 11:30 so you can grab something to eat and come on down. Our SMSE meeting is next Sunday. That is our spiritually motivated social engagement team that has most recently sponsored the 3-part series on race, the power of an illusion, which will wrap up the following Tuesday. If you're interested in knowing more about that group or joining, please plan to join us for that meeting after the service next week. And I want to invite, who is doing the announcement for the women? Silly. Heidi Whitehead, that was funny. Heidi, I know you. Come on up here. You're the next contestant. Heidi would like to give an announcement as one of the co-facilitators of the women's retreat coming up quickly in September, Labor Day. Yes.
Hi. I am co-facilitating the women's retreat with Lisa Yelnick. And so I wanted to reach out to all of the ladies in the audience, anyone who identifies as female, and extend a personal invitation and also just give you a little bit more information on what to expect. It will be a weekend of sisterhood in the tradition of circling with women that has roots in many different cultures. And we will spend time seeking some inspiration from women from various cultures and traditions, including some of the tools, the spiritual practices and tools used in different traditions to help us open to our divine purpose, to help us connect with that space that Trish was just talking about, and see what's nudging us there toward our purpose and our callings, and kind of getting a little closer to our spiritual gifts and how we might be using them in this world right now. And maybe what's keeping us from doing that. Look at that a little bit too. It won't be all deep, intense work like that. There will be some of it, but there will be a lot of play and creative expression through art, through conscious dance, through drum circle at the fire. There's going to be all kinds of wonderful activities and ways to connect with each other and also with our own inner wisdom. Let's see if there's anything else I want to say about that. It's Labor Day weekend, coming up quick. There will be a way to register at the table after the service with the ladies on the team behind all of this, who are some of whom are here today. I don't see everybody, but you can talk to me, you can talk to Lisa, you can talk to Monica or Cindy. I don't see Megan or Christina today, but those are 2 other people you can reach out to if you have questions or want more information. I think that's all I have to say. So join us if you're looking for a way to connect a little more, build some community within Unity, and it should be great. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Great. I also want to mention another women's group. Obviously, gentlemen, you've got some competition. The Sisters in Spirit group is opening up to new membership, and they will be telling you a little bit more about that next Sunday. This Sunday, they also have a table next to the women's retreat table that has some more information about the Sisters in Spirit, what their purpose is, who they are, and how you can join them. So for questions about that, please see probably Deb Benfield? No? Yep, at the table. And those tables are, you know where those tables are? They're where the fellowship table usually is, because we bumped that in, once again, in some strange effort to save the carpets. So we'll see how long that lasts. But right outside of the bookstore. I also want to invite Johanna Rowan up. She has an exciting announcement. Could you hide that slide for just a minute? I didn't have one for this. But Johanna's history in theater has brought her to make this invitation for you all.
Thank you. Yes, I am Johanna Rowan, and I know some of you, and I hope to know a whole lot more of you in the future. So this is a save the date for on October 29th for the annual Chili Fest. Now, you've got to be wondering, why are we getting a 3-month early announcement for the Chili Fest? Well, the reason is that, have any of you ever heard the story of the Hairy Man?
The what?
The Hairy Man.
The Hairy Man. No, I've seen a few.
Anybody? Well, there's the Wily and the Hairy Man, and how Wily and his mammy beat the Hairy Man. And so, that's where you all come in. We're going to tell this story at the Chili Fest, Wily and the Hairy Man, and we need a lot of you. We need actors, we need props, we need costumes, we need lighting and sound and musicians. So we need all of you to help us tell this story. And to do that, we're going to have a gathering on August 14th after church, and for you all to come, any of you that are interested, and this is for all ages, for adults, for kids, for teens, for everything, for all ages. And we need you to help this story come to life. So on October 14th after church, around 11:30, mark your calendar, and if you're interested, come joining us to learn more about it and see where you might fit in to help us tell this story. Okay?
Wonderful.
Yep.
Is it a musical?
No.
Oh, good. Okay. We don't have to sing. All right, I'm just checking. All right, and lastly, I do want to give you an update, and I want to just invite you into, I know some of you have made a donation. Now you can show that slide for me, Al, thank you, to the Pandemic Recovery Matching Fund that we started. Really as a way to, yes, rebuild our operating, not expenses, but cushion, as well as to pay for some of the upgrades that we made to the HVAC for air conditioning that was a little more expensive than anticipated, and we also did that in the children's garden, which we had not budgeted for. So we had generous donors step forward to offer a matching program, meaning that if you give above your normal donation to the church to this matching fund, they will match your donation dollar for dollar up to $35,000, which is very generous and allows us to raise up to $70,000. And it also is an investment in our future, right? Because we are doing some things, and we want to do some things to upgrade our building, to add to the youth department through our outdoor play area, natural playscape, which will also have a seating area outdoors. So a little bit of modernization and updating for our youth and family program, which is our future. So I recognize that it is an investment. It's sort of like the wonderful analogy of when you plant a tree, right? At some point, you're providing shade for the next generation. And I think I love that image of, yes, I know many of you, your children are grown and not coming anymore, but we know that the Unity message makes a difference and transforms lives and heals lives. And so to make this ministry available and to have it be thriving and alive and relevant and all of those things, this fund is helping with that. So if you'd like to contribute to that, you can do so by just marking matching on your check or your love offering envelope. I know I've kept you ushers here for so long. I'm supposed to say, we'll get better at this. I'll do the announcements and then I'll say, and now's the time in our service where we will take your love offering, and our ushers are available. I know many of you give online. Those of you who are watching online, I thank you for your contributions to this ministry and to provide that service for you. If you have something to give in your hand, if you've already given online or electronically, just know that your love offering is blessed because it is doing the work of love in the world. So together we will bless our love offering, which will be on the screen because I never remember. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful. Thank you.
One power, one power, one power. There's one power invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angel's wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the love, power of the love in you and me. One power. We speak so many languages, have different clothing, different colors, different names. But different is only dangerous when we forget that in the heart we're just the same. And we'll remember once we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, call it Baha'u'llah, angel's wings or heaven's door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power. It's the moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon for the love that's most deep. One power. Oh, one power. It's the power of the love that lives forever in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me.
Thank you, Barrett. Beautiful Daniel Namad song I requested. Thank you very much. Did a wonderful job with it. You feel that, yeah? The power of the love in you and me. I don't need all that other superhero, invisible parent stuff anymore. We know that truth in us, and we're claiming it. And I think it is overdue, and we are the ones that are recognizing it. We're not special. We're just in this congregation working together to do that. Well, we are special. Of course you're special. I'm just saying, as we know it and claim it and be it in the world, it's a world that is ready and in great need for it and for us. So thank you for being here today. If you will stand, we will close with the prayer for protection. Again, having remodeled even this, yes, because as we see at some point, God watches over us in this language. Really? Does God have eyes? So we have we keep evolving our language to express this truth that God is beingness. So together, the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. As light, I illumine my world. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. As love, I live empathy, understanding, and compassion. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. As power, I co-create a world of love, unity, and equity for all. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. As presence, I stand in truth in every circumstance. Wherever we are, God is. Amen. Take it away, Barrett.
All right. Feel free to sing along. Love can move the world as the moon in the sky moves the sea. Love can cause the wars to cease. Love can move this world to peace. It's a tide that begins with you and me. Love can move the world as the warmth of the sun moves the trees. Feel the wind of love increase as we move this world to peace. Come love the world with me.